Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Man, we got a juicy one today. Jenna had a download a half an hour before recording. We're like, you know what? This is what we're talking about. We're going this direction today because it is so good. And I'm so excited to get into it, especially with last week talking about raw joy, which also I felt like was very juicy. We got a
Mhm.
trend going
It
on
was
right
very
now.
it was very fun. Last week's
Yeah.
conversation was so fun.
Yes.
And I think this week is going to be fun too, but it's
Mhm.
definitely a different tone.
Very good way of putting it. Yes. So, what we're going to kind of encompass today, and we'll see which directions we go and kind of what unfolds, is really tuning into the language of the body. Probably every episode we've referenced the body, getting back into your body, getting out of your mind and into your body. But that's kind of a foreign concept, especially in society today. And I think with Jenna and I, kind of the experimentation we've been on the last few years, we may take that for granted that it's like, no, we're rewiring. So we are more tapped into our body. So we're really going to dive into that today. And why we're doing it today and having the inspiration today is because Jenna's noticed her throat, ooh, something's up here. I notice it daytime, nighttime. And so then she starts getting downloads, which you splenic projectors are fascinating creatures, and I'm mesmerized by it. But she starts typing out these things, and I'm like, this is solid gold. Yes, press record. Let's go. So, Jenna, I don't know if you even want to start there with just what you've been noticing the last couple of days and just kind of the inspiration for even this conversation.
Yeah, and as you're sharing that, I think maybe the reason this was downloaded, maybe the reason I'm even having these symptoms, right,
Mm.
is so that we have this conversation to share with everybody, you
Yeah.
know? So yeah, Nick and I traveled this past weekend. He took vacation last week, and we have just been moving and experiencing life in a very different way out of our routine.
Hmm.
And I've gotten run down, right? I haven't
Yeah.
honored my authority as much because I've been caught up in the energy of others. I've been having fun. And so, yeah, I've not completely lost my voice, but I've had a very hoarse voice. We were actually going to record earlier today, but I
Yeah.
messaged Jess I feel like we have to push it back. um, but yeah, it's nothing severely wrong, but it just got me thinking about how much my relationship with my body has changed over the last few years.
Hmm.
And how often we say in this journey, in these conversations, get back into your body. And I can remember when I first heard that, even in the experimentation of human design, I was kind of like, what the F does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that
Right.
mean? Even that prompt was very, I got it. I get what people were saying. I got what my coach was saying. I understood the point that human design was making to get back into your body. But what that would look like for me, the journey of
Yeah.
that I was even out of my body felt so foreign and
Hmm.
kind of so open-ended and confusing for me.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so
Yes.
I think I'm in a different place now. My relationship with my body is in a different place. The language of my body, I understand it more, but I kind of just want to close that gap for people a little bit more
Yeah.
of how we've gone through it and our unique experience. Because I think it's easy as humans living in this current society, growing up in this past society, to
Yeah.
hear that, to get back into your body and immediately think of the physical world.
Hmm.
Immediately thinking, oh, well, if you're having symptoms, you're not feeling great in your body, the first thing you think of is, well, I need to eat better and I need to move my body. I need to exercise.
Hmm.
Those are the two repeated prompts that we've heard growing up in this world.
Hmm.
And yes, yes, that is a part of the solution,
Sure.
right? That is a part of getting back into our bodies, but that's not the only relationship that we're meant to be having with our bodies. It's not just a physical plane experience, it's also emotional and spiritual.
Totally.
And so I think that's the first point to make, that, if you've tried reconnecting with your body in these ways and it didn't work, that's totally valid, because if that
Yeah.
was the only piece of our relationship with our bodies, we would all be healthy. We would all
Right.
be feeling great in our
Yeah.
bodies, living these human lives to the fullest.
Right.
But it's so much more than that.
Mm. So much. So much. Yes. Yeah. And you saying like, oh, it's too open-ended. Like that's what I was feeling like that is overwhelming. Like F
Yeah.
off. What? Like you're not going to give me any guidance here? Okay, cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just supposed to like know, am I supposed to have this wiring in me right now, which we do. We all have that, but we're
Mm-hmm.
so disconnected from it that it's this like immediate resistance. Like I felt that when you
Yeah.
explaining your
And I
experience as
think
well.
that's really unique given your background. So do you kind of want to share your background and experience with the
Sure.
body and the health industry?
Yeah. So okay. So for over a decade, I've been a registered dietitian. Well, and I still am. I made that sound past tense. Still there. And a clinical exercise physiologist. So I went to lots of school, and I always knew I wanted to help people live a better life, to feel less pain, to have more joy, to live their expression. And it was literally the only degree I saw on the board of degrees that remotely interested me. Everything else was like, that sounds terrible. Like, I don't want to do any of that. So nutrition, exercise path I've been down, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this path as well. Um, words. So, like most of us who went and have some sort of higher education, right? We have our training and then we enter the world. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I don't know how to do this, or I wasn't trained on this, or okay, this
Well,
is really
yeah,
how
it's
it turns
just
out.
like with what we've said with human design. You can't just study it. You have to experiment with it and
Oh,
be in it. So I'm
100%.
sure it's the same thing when you're studying the body.
Yes. It's very like, oh, that's the system. Okay, that's how that works. Oh, that's how that integrates. Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
amazing and incredible. And the body's fascinating. But then when you start to work one on one or in group settings with people, you're like, oh, this is complex. Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
what is happening
And
here?
do you feel that's because there is other layers to it?
Oh, 100%, which
Yeah.
I did not, that connection did not come mm, uh, probably the first 5 years
Yeah.
like that. No, that was not,
Well, it wasn't a part of the language or the education.
no,
Our world
no.
wasn't open to these other experiences of our body and
Yes,
of the world.
yes. And I knew like, oh, I don't want to be doing it this way. It wasn't that
Mhm.
I didn't, I've not loved the profession or the space or the utility of it. It was like, I want to do this differently. Like, we're not, pieces are missing here. Like, there's still too much struggle. There's too much quote unquote failure for
Mhm.
people who walk in the door. We create a plan or some sort of accountability, great for 2 weeks, and then pretty much tank the rest of the time and
Mhm.
can't really find those avenues. And that's probably was the hardest part in a health and wellness space, with kind of the environments I have been in. I mean, absolutely now finding human design adds the missing
Yeah,
piece.
you've really, I mean, it's funny that you
Yeah.
always knew that there was going to be something else and it was
Yes.
just divine timing that you found that and you're
Right.
bringing it all together for your
Absolutely.
clients. Amazing.
Yes. Yes. But
Yeah.
it's a lot of the rhetoric is around what you put in your mouth and how you move your body. I would say there's even more now around stress, like that is, stress,
Mhm.
inflammation.
Mhm.
Those are the other undercurrents in sleep, like, kind of the pillars of health that are going to be highlighted one way or another, whoever you're working with. And that absolutely has its place. But yeah, it's very, I mean, I don't know, I probably worked with thousands of people at this point in all sorts of environments. Um, you know, and for a lot of them, especially women, love of the body is
Mhm.
it's not cultivated. It's not there. There's no role models.
Mhm.
There's all those layers and those dynamics that really come to that root. So that self-worth piece. And now I feel like I can have those conversations with people.
Yeah.
But before it's kind of like things kind of stop there. It's like, well, okay, but we see your labs. So we know your genetics. Like, let's
Mm.
integrate this or
Don't
integrate
even
that.
get me started.
I know. Now I
So
will say I
I
love
am
looking at labs, but got its own
And I was
place.
just going to say, I am so blessed to have you as a friend as I've been experiencing what
Yeah.
I've been experiencing the last few years, because Jess has looked at my labs
Oh yeah. I
and
love it.
given me the feedback and reinterpreted things for me that
Mhm.
doctors have said. And so I think my experience with the body has kind of been the story that you just told, the
Yeah.
lack of love for the body. I mean, I can recall like hating my body, like
Yeah.
at different
Yeah.
points in my life. And I think like that can make me sad thinking about that, but I've come so far from that,
Mhm.
reality. Like that's like, every time I look in the mirror now, I'm just like, oh, that's my cool ass body that tells me things and,
Oh,
I have a
amazing.
language with and a relationship with. But
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is that, one of the first things that I spoke about with you and Jenny was that like discomfort with my body. And I think that was kind of the
Yes.
first piece of, me really understanding where my relationship stood. But in the last few years, I have gone down a journey of healing,
Yes.
you know, re I don't even know what the word is, but like reframing my experience with the body, reframing every symptom of my body. And I want to talk about all of that. And I want to share all of that so that maybe whoever's listening can
Mhm.
relate to it. But
Mhm.
I think we should start at the beginning.
Sure.
Like, why do you think we disassociate from our bodies? Like, what's the beginning for us?
Mm.
I know that, as children with little subconscious brains forming up
Yeah.
until 7 to 12 years old or even longer,
Sure.
we are often, just trying to find safety in the world and
Yeah.
trying to find our place. And so we're really adapting and taking in what the world is saying and then what they're saying about the body.
Yeah.
So we take in these beliefs, we listen to our mothers, we see commercials, we
Right.
follow trends. And so I think that's a place of disassociation, but there also can be trauma that we
Yeah.
experience that causes us to, cause havoc on our nervous system and our
Mhm.
connection to ourselves.
Mhm.
Anything else that you want to add there of kind of where this really begins based on your experience personally or with clients?
Sure. I mean, yeah, that's I think the overarching umbrella
Mm-hmm.
of where it's gonna stem from, and it's one of those even when in practice, if it's like, okay, well, like, how was growing up for you? How was the home environment? I always feel a
Mm-hmm.
little cliche when I always bring it up because it's like, oh, does it always gonna come back to me as a kid? It's like, well, there's a lot to it. There's a lot of
Yeah.
patterning that starts there. And
Mm-hmm.
it's wired. It feels automatic now. And you have never looked at it or
Mm-hmm.
given it any thought or any consideration. So yeah, I agree with that being like big overview, like where a lot of it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
stem from.
And I think you start to notice that at some point
Mhm.
in your life. Like I got to a point where my symptoms were just unavoidable
Yeah.
and I was so uncomfortable that
Yeah.
there was no other choice but to look at, what was beneath the surface, beneath the
Mhm.
physical plane.
Right.
And my personal story, and it doesn't all tie to one thing, right? Like there's so
Sure.
many moments in life that kind of cause the havoc on your body. And I want to also caveat and emphasize with this point and what I'm about to share, it's not anyone's fault, right? Like
So
we
good.
talk about
Yes.
the home, we talk about society, but nobody is out there intentionally wanting you to have a super shitty relationship with your body. Maybe like some marketing, some really like,
Right. Drive
you
those
know,
prices.
yeah, right. Like maybe behind like, sales and marketing, wellness industry, there's some of that. I don't want to get into it, but
Sure.
on a one-to-one level, anybody that has maybe influenced your relationship with your
Mhm.
body or
Mhm.
caused you to disassociate with your body,
Yeah.
they weren't doing it intentionally. They have experiences and they have their own stories with their bodies
Right.
that are
Right.
getting passed on or translated to you without
Yes.
any intention. So,
Yeah.
um, I think one of like the biggest things that I've discovered in reflecting on my body was my relationship in high school. So my first
Mm.
relationship,
Mhm.
first boy I have sex with,
Mm.
and I was in that relationship for 4.5 years,
Yeah.
and he was very emotionally abusive.
Mm.
Again, we were children, like there's
Yes.
no hate there.
Right.
But as a young girl, like that caused havoc on my body. He
Yeah.
also was very, didn't want me to wear yoga pants, made comments
Oh.
about my body. So I just began to almost give him control over my
Right.
relationship with my body. Like I handed myself sovereignty away.
Right.
And I didn't really notice I did that until I was having all these symptoms, like,
Right.
15 years. I don't even know how long, like, at least
Right.
12 years later.
Yeah.
And I'm having, headaches from birth control. I'm having
Mm.
digestive issues that have been happening since high school. And I
Yes.
never really chose to face it.
Yeah.
And I came to realize there was a huge emotional reason behind that. It began then,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is, I'm sure, something that a lot of people can relate to, or maybe just realizing right now in this
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. And it can seem like starting that conversation can seem very overwhelming, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I've lived such a life. Now you're asking me to like, when did it start? Like what was the impetus?
Mhm.
Like that's going to take me hours and days and months to
Mhm.
even start. And that could be the case for
Mhm.
individuals, but I also want to emphasize, I mean, we're all about letting things be easy, like
Yes.
let it be easy, let it flow. So you
Mhm.
can also take something that can be heavy, but bring light to it. Like that's
Mhm.
what this
Yeah.
process is doing, is bringing light.
Mhm.
And so it's nurturing yourself, right? It's just sitting. Like even so much of us, we don't sit. We don't sit in
Mhm.
silence. We don't sit just with ourselves.
I was gonna say, I sit. I
That's true. A lot
definitely
of people
sit.
do sit. It's
Sit
kind
in
of a
silence,
issue.
I think, is the key
Yes. Sitting
to
in
that sentence.
silence. If
Yeah.
we had a video editor, I would say, splice that out, please. But yes, it's the sitting in silence that we can benefit more from.
Mhm.
Oh, that's too funny. Um, and you may surprise yourself with how easy or how
Mhm.
things flow when you just give that space, you give that invitation to see what comes up.
Mhm.
Just see what that looks like. So I just want to put that out there because I know it can also feel like, what? I don't even know. I don't know how to go there. It can be
Mhm.
easy. It can be light. It is your past. You're honoring it and you're honoring it for the direction you're wanting to go as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that you emphasize that.
Yeah.
How did you have any moments or anything that you want to share with your experience with your body? I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
a slightly different, you've
Hmm.
been paying attention to your body probably your whole life because this was your passion, whereas I
Right.
was not.
Sure.
So like
Sure.
how do you feel when I share that story? Is there anything that like pings in your being?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a few things. I mean, I think, and I don't know if others will relate to this. Well, there can be dynamics in the sports world as well as I'm thinking through this. But I was super active as a kid. I mean, high sacral generator. Like, sure, I fit the mold for that and did
Mhm.
as a kid. Very, very active, and also have a very active family too. So that was just kind of the how I was wired, right? Like that's we did stuff and that's just I don't know what we did. Um but I'll also say I was pretty fortunate with coaches. Like I had coaches that I didn't have events where I questioned my capabilities, my body, my
Mm,
limitations, right? Like it's
yeah, that's cool.
performance, right?
Yeah.
Like it's I always felt like, no, I'm here. I deserve to be here. Like I'm
Yeah.
contributing, which is also a big part of my chart and like a core need that I have in
Mhm.
life for like my passion and purpose. I need to really feel that I'm contributing. Um, and I say that realizing people like don't know my body configuration. Like I'm only
Mhm.
5 feet tall. I was always the shortest kid in every class, like school
Like
photos.
this is such a side note, but Jess and I have not met in person yet.
That's so true.
Like we
Yeah.
haven't said that, but we've known each other now for what, 2.5 years or
Yeah.
so. Like
Yeah.
we still have not met in person. And like when you say, I mean, I know you're so tiny, but like
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna be taller than you, which is
Yes.
rare because I'm 5'2".
Right. Which I would have been
Like
like, no, you're 5'4".
it's like, yeah, complete side note. But when you say that, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. Like most people, their response is like, you're so tiny. Like, oh, ah. So I'm saying this in the context from sports because like I was
Yeah,
always the
I get
little
it now.
one.
Like I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Like I'm the tiny one. Um, but it was in a more supportive way. Like I didn't have experience where I had a
Yeah.
terrible coach or a and I've seen that with friends and I've heard those stories. And those, I mean, that is a role model right there, right? Like that is
Yeah.
such a crucial energy and authority in a child's life, especially a child who enjoys the sport that they're playing and they want to better
Mhm.
themselves in it. And I also had in most cases, my team, my members,
Mhm.
like I still talk to a lot of those girls.
Yeah.
There definitely were some that I was like, not the best influence, but it's
Yeah.
life. Um, so I think for me, if I didn't have activity, if I didn't have organized sports,
Mhm.
oh my, oh my, that body connection would be very,
You
very,
know
very
what's interesting though? Like, I don't want to, it's not
sure.
like I'm disagreeing, but I think there's a
Yeah.
beautiful point to this because I was involved in sports
Yes.
fully.
Yes.
Um, I mean, coaches weren't always my favorite,
Yeah.
right? But
Right.
that's in my astrological chart. Like I have sometimes
An
like,
authority.
authority
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
issues.
Yeah. Which is fair.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also teammates, like they were always my friends, but I can always recall like drama. Like there was always drama
Oh,
associated with sports for me.
okay.
And even sporting like experiences that maybe I wasn't on the teams. Like I just, for me, when I think of sports, I can think of drama. That's like it's a
Interesting.
word that comes up. And so
Mm,
I want to bring this up because like as you're looking back and you're trying to maybe find the beginning of where you started to disassociate or disconnect from your body,
yes.
I want to make the point of like we all signed soul contracts before coming into this life, right?
Mhm,
Like when
mhm.
I talk about my journey with my body, I don't talk about it like, oh shit, I was disconnected from it and it took so long to get back to it. Like that's literally what I wanted to do in this life. Like that's what my
Yeah.
spirit chose.
Yes.
And I also signed contracts with, let's say my high school boyfriend or with you
Yes.
to help me lose self-sovereignty over my body and regain it because that's my path. That's what
Yes.
helps me serve others. That's what helps me feel most expanded. That's one of the areas where I really wanted to grow
Mhm.
as a spiritual being in the human experience.
Yes.
And so if you're listening to this and maybe there's even like bitterness or they're saying like,
Sure.
why Jess have such a great experience? Because she's truly meant to be in my life as a light when it comes to
Yes.
body and
Yeah.
mirror that potential to me.
Yeah.
So I think that's just really, I know we all have different experiences in
Yep.
our past, but as you look back at these moments or maybe these people that maybe contributed to the
Mhm.
shitty relationship you have with your
Mhm.
body, or maybe,
Mhm.
didn't add to it, they were also some of the biggest teachers in your
Yeah.
journey. And so I
Yeah, and
just thought that's important to share.
absolutely. Like I think for me, my path has been to have this solid foundation,
Mhm.
but I'll also say where it started to go, oh, there's different dynamics here in life is in high school. Like
Mhm.
it's very similar to you. The relationship I had, it was very manipulative from an emotional
Yeah.
standpoint, verbal. And it was my first exposure to like someone I had so much fun with and like enjoyed, but
Mhm.
then, oh, you're not treating me right. Wait, I haven't experienced
Yeah.
this before. Like, okay, well, now I need to behave this way. So maybe that doesn't happen as much. So it was very similar to that. It sounds
Yeah.
like age range. Like I had no idea. Oh man, that also took 15, 20 years until I started to be like, I want different relationships in my life.
Yeah.
Ooh, I need to like let's do a little like record keeping here of all of them, see
Mhm.
the patterns, and that's a whole other conversation. But that was really that first time. And I think having that foundation of knowing when I feel my best and then go,
Mhm.
oh, okay, here's a relationship dynamic that's very different, but I still want to be in it. I don't want to get
Mhm.
out. Wait, why? And so
Mhm.
that's kind of how I would say things started to take a different course with how I was connected to the body.
Yeah. And I still find that so fascinating that we had a similar
Yes.
relationship at a similar time in life. Jess
Yes,
and I
me
have a
too.
lot of similarities in our human design chart as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our life themes are like opposite of like the same but flipped. I don't feel like getting into it, but point
Right.
is like
Right.
Jess and I are meant to be talking right now.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And bring these different perspectives. But
Yeah.
so when you had that, you said like 15 years later as well, you started to
Yeah.
be like, oh, wait, different. Like, did your body start to tell you that? or like, did your body communicate that? Because I know for me, it definitely did. And it may not be the same for you because you had that
Yes.
foundation.
Okay. So yes, at first my thought was like, I don't know. And then it's like, oh wait, yes, you do. Yes, you do. There's my body right
Always
there.
do.
The mind wanted to answer that one, then the body came online. Okay, so for me, I would say, like, I'm not somebody who's had a chronic illness. I'll just like that sort of in that health bucket, not where I'm going. But especially, yeah, it's romantic relationships for me. And it's more intimacy. Like,
Mm,
even like, do I kiss him? Do I not kiss him? Like, did I do that right? Did I
yeah.
not do that right? Like,
Which is the body too. Like that is the body.
yes.
Like I love that you're bringing this up because like I said
Yes.
earlier, a lot of times we go like straight to the physical plane or the societal mentality of like
Mhm.
eat right and exercise. But if you're having questions or curiosities about your body and intimacy,
Yeah.
food has fucking nothing to do with that,
No, no,
like
not at all. Like, I'm not
yeah,
gonna absorb anything.
that's an emotional layer
Yes.
to your
I
relationship.
that I felt, oh my, like I felt like I didn't get the playbook. How do all these other girls or women or whatever age,
What
how do
are
I
we?
not know? Like, I don't like, and that's what I
Yeah.
mean by connection with
Yeah, it
body.
sounds like your instincts, like your
Yes.
physical feminine
Yes.
instincts were
I was
turned
on birth
off at
control.
some point. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
that's why it came up for me. It wasn't
Mhm.
digestive issues or
Mhm.
chronic illness, autoimmune. It was this uncomfortable, how do I behave? This feels so weird. Like, I'm sweating. And
Yeah.
then like,
Which is the language of your body, right? So
yes,
we're talking
yes,
about like what is the language of your body and like mine is different from yours. Like
right,
we
right.
all each body has a different language and we speak to it differently and we have our own relationships with our body. So what you're
Mhm.
bringing up is an example of how your body was communicating to you
Yes,
to say like, hey, there's something emotional or maybe even spiritual here
yes,
that you're not paying attention to. And
yes.
I'm going to keep making life relationships uncomfortable until you give this high school relationship the attention, or not even the relationship, give high school Jess the attention that she wants, because that's really
Yes.
what it's about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And what about
Mm,
for you? I mean, it sounds like for you, it was definitely more like those
yeah.
those physical body symptoms got to a place where you're like, I can't live this way anymore.
Yeah. I'm going to try to summarize this.
I know.
Like,
I know.
I feel like there was so much has happened in the last few
It
years.
has.
I want to do my best to not ramble through my physical,
We got time. We're here.
symptoms, but I think it's really important to kind of emphasize these details because I was constantly having this mental, physical battle within myself, trying to get back to my own sovereignty. And I think it began when I was having severe migraines. I was
Yeah.
having headaches. You knew me at this point,
Hmm.
and I was communicating with my doctor. She was suggesting medication for my migraines, telling me to, try all these different things. And then, it got to a point where it's kind of like I knew my body was just trying to tell me something, but I didn't know how to listen to it yet.
Oh,
So I was
yeah.
still turning to external resources, right? Like I think that's the instinct within all of us if we're having
Good.
symptoms, if we're
Mhm.
physically not feeling well. And probably you too, when like, you
Yes.
were not struggling, but struggling with intimacy,
Yeah.
we want to go find answers.
Yeah.
And so I was working with my doctor to find the answers to my migraines.
Hmm.
And I didn't feel satisfied in anything she was saying. Like I wasn't successful, first of all. I wasn't satisfied. I didn't feel seen.
Yeah.
And then the point when she messaged me and said, I'd love for you to go get an MRI. I was like, no, like,
Yeah.
no, no, like my body shouted like, no,
Right.
that's not the path to go down. Like,
Yeah.
don't go down that path.
Yeah.
Um, and so I remember jumping on a call with you and Jenny, and I
Hmm.
just bawled my eyes out because I was just like, what's wrong with me? And you both looked at me, and this is the soul contract piece of
Mm.
this. This is the spiritual piece of this, like this moment where you guys both looked at me and said, you need to get off birth control.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like that was news to me, like, but I think that was so
Oh,
valuable because you guys, I allowed you guys to see the emotional and spiritual side of me.
right.
Like I was vulnerable in that space with you. So that
Yep.
type of wisdom was able to come through and be communicated to me. Where with doctors, I was just looking for like
Yeah.
a surface level
Yeah.
band-aid.
Yep.
to help me.
Right. Right.
So I'd gone off birth control, and immediately the headache stopped, like
Right.
immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I also still went on like a migraine medication, just had like a
Yep.
month before that. So I was kind of also on that, and eventually got off of that. But then I was feeling good. And then it was like the next year, like the 6 months later, I then was having like digestive issues. Like my stomach was so sick. I couldn't digest any food. Nothing felt good. I was at a point where I was like, I can't, like, how do I eat? Like, how do I get
Mm-hmm.
nutrients in my body?
Yeah.
And what's super beautiful about this story is that um, just before I had made a doctor's appointment, or it was like right after, it was as it was coming up, my family, all the women in my family went gluten-free and dairy-free.
Yeah.
And I was like, hanging out with them, and it like wasn't sinking in. And I was just like, I don't know. Like, I was just like sad because I didn't feel good. And I was like, all right, well, I'll try this, started to feel better. But because I had gone to the doctor at the same point in time, some labs came up that my iron was super low. And so it
Yes.
was kind of like I was having this parallel path of like, one was like decided by me and chosen by me. And I was trusting myself, and following the signs of the universe and going gluten-free and dairy-free. And I started to feel better. But then I had also simultaneously started this other path where I was in the healthcare system trying to find answers still.
Sure.
And it's interesting because I, reflecting back, like I kind of wish I would have just like ditched that path the way I did with the migraines and just
Yeah.
hopped on
Mm.
my truth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's very, it's like, it's a little bit addictive, right? To get answers externally about your
Yeah.
body. It's like an addictive thing.
Yes.
Like you're like, oh my God, what? You mean my iron's low? Okay. I freaking had a colonoscopy and an endoscopy,
Yes. Yes.
came back fine.
Yep. Yep.
I was told that I have low iron and they want me to go, get my blood checked out. I
Mm-hmm.
was also told what else came up. I mean, so much like it was like a rabbit hole, like almost not
Yes.
even a rabbit hole because I didn't want to go down it. It was like
Mm-hmm.
I was just spiraling in the healthcare system. And
Mm-hmm.
so it got to a point of I did have an iron infusion
Yep.
because my iron was low. But after that, the week after, I was having freaking heart palpitations.
Yes.
Like I was so uncomfortable with what had just been processed through me.
Mm-hmm.
I had went and got blood work done as well, and they poked me in the in a nerve, and so like my arm was all like swollen and numb.
Yeah.
And I shared that with my doctor. This was the last thing that I have shared with my doctor, communicated to my doctor. I was like, what the heck? Could the iron infusion have caused this? What's going on with me? And she said, she didn't even say anything. I got a call from my doctor's office and they were like, we'd love to schedule you with a social worker.
Yes. That's right.
And
That's right.
nothing against meeting with a social worker,
Sure.
or, a psychologist. Like I would love that. Like I
Yeah,
love to
you
talk
would.
about
Yes.
myself. Like, fuck that. I love that. But it was like, it was a moment where I was like, oh my God, like I am literally giving my whole body away to the healthcare system. I'm
Mm.
giving myself away to somebody, something, an external entity, the same way I did in high school.
Mm.
And like, I had a moment of like, no, I'm fine. I'm completely fine. I know exactly what to do. And
Mm-hmm.
so, not a very short story, but I think it speaks to, the journey that some might have with
Yes.
their bodies. They, if you're in that experience with the healthcare system, I mean, it has so much value. I know
Yes.
getting things checked out and, getting
Sure.
opinions is okay.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, and if you're hearing this, if it resonates, like there comes a point where you just have to take your body back and
Yeah.
start to listen to it through your
Yeah.
own ears and and look at it through your own eyes.
Oh, yes. 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 I mean, and that's that external validation, right? Like that's how the healthcare
Yeah.
system is set up. And it's also
Mhm.
set up to not have legal issues come up as well. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's just like a recipe of for those chronic issues, it's likely there's something else
Mhm.
happening there that a lot of people just don't get the opportunity or the invitation to start to look at.
Yeah. And it also makes me think about waiting. Like
Oh, yes.
I didn't want to wait and hear what my body was actually telling me, because I think about like some of the things that I knew were underlying, right? Like a doctor said to me, like, let's hope it's cancer, or let's hope it's celiac and not cancer. I definitely said
Wow.
that backwards, but like they said that to me and I was like,
Yeah. Right.
and the low iron, like I feel like that was me. I processed fearing death. Like I had a
Mm.
moment when they said that to me, like I went home and was like, what is this fear? And it was like the fear of dying. Like I sat with that. I waited and
Yeah.
I let my body feel that. So even though it was a very like roller coaster 4 or 5 months,
Sure.
throughout it, I really like sunk into what the lessons were.
Yeah.
But if I would have just given myself the space to let that fear come up within itself, like I could
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did that look for you? Like, was this in meditation? Was this in journaling? Like when you had this space and these
Mhm.
connections, what kind of practice or how did you allow that to really happen?
Yeah, I think there's, two different stories to tell here. I mean, I think when I was in it, I was letting the external world push me to face these things, like
More
hearing the
reactive.
doctor say something. And so then I just kind of had to face what it
Yeah.
was. And so I would sit down and journal how that statement from the doctor really made me feel and what's underneath it, what's the emotional,
Hmm.
trigger beneath that.
Hmm.
And I was kind of letting, I had low iron. So I was like, what is low iron? It's exhaustion. So where in my life am I exhausted? And so I would sit with that and reflect through that, typically through journaling.
Yeah.
I process things fast. So,
You process things super
um,
fast.
but I think now it's when a symptom comes up or a discomfort comes up in my body, I give myself space to let those messages come through before asking my external world to like push me into it.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
think I wasn't doing it in the highest light the last
Sure.
period of my life. And now I'm able to do it a little bit more intentionally.
Yeah. A- Absolutely. So then it's not getting to a point where you're starting to have more severe symptoms, right? Like it's you're
Mhm.
not needing the body to speak so loud
Yeah.
to demand that
Mhm.
you start to look at it differently or you're paying attention to it. And there's like so much power in that
Mhm.
and so much less stress, right? Like there's all these
Mhm.
biological benefits too that are coming to mind that I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, that's just such a
Yeah, like
cozy.
listen, like you said, listening to the whispers now is what I'm
Yes.
doing, when
Yes.
anything. I mean,
Yeah.
even when I'm just a little bit tired,
Mm. Hmm.
like I'm paying attention to what does that mean? Am I tired with the work I'm doing? Am I bored there? And that's showing up physically. Am I tired in a relationship right now?
Yeah.
Or is it actually, I need more iron? Like it can be any of
Sure.
those things. And so now
Yes.
when I feel tired or exhausted, I'm asking all of those questions. I'm not assuming the worst and telling somebody and going to a doctor and asking for
Yeah.
the answer.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah,
So
and even thinking for like you just saying like, and I can't have low iron. Like there are
Mhm.
biological effects that happen
Yeah.
for all sorts of reasons. And also it can be that space talk, like wait that being and waiting, like
Mhm.
in whatever form is cozy for everyone. You can also ask to be shown a person who will listen to your whole story,
Yes.
who has the expertise that your body is craving.
Mhm.
And then you get to pay attention to that as well because what you desire and ask for, like, it will be shown when you're at that vibrational frequency for
Mhm.
that self-worth. So it's also surrendering to that and knowing like you may still feel okay, this is outside of me. Like I know I'm tuning into myself, I'm tuning into my body, but I also know that there is support for these dots to be connected still. Perfectly normal. Like we
Mhm.
are meant to interact with one another. And so then you can also keep your self sovereignty and ask for that person, that resource, that connection and
Mhm.
know it's on its way to me. Like it is
Mhm.
coming to me um as well. I think that's just like another level of taking in those whispers.
Yeah, and I think why we maybe struggle with it most when it comes to like our bodies is because it's
Yep.
uncomfortable. Like when
Yes.
we're
Yes. Yes.
uncomfortable or we're experiencing symptoms or our body is speaking
Yep.
to us, I mean it's designed to be uncomfortable to get you to address something just the way
Yeah.
you addressed like, past emotional triggers.
Yeah.
Like that was uncomfortable and sometimes when we're uncomfortable we want to just like exit
Yeah.
and get back to the comfort,
Yes.
and almost blame our bodies or be mad at them for not functioning the way we want, or
Mhm.
just becoming very I mean, I was frustrated with my
Yeah.
symptoms. I was like, "Oh my God, I
Yeah.
just cleared something and now something else is coming up."
Right.
And
Right.
I was in that state a little bit of like frustration.
Yeah.
And then your body gets more frustrated because it's like, you're not listening to me. Like there's a point to us feeling this way. And
Right.
I think that's like the biggest thing is getting on the same side as your body
Mhm.
and reframing that, it's not you against it. Like it's
Yeah.
on your team and
Mhm.
it's here just like your human design and your inner authority and,
Yes.
the people in your life and the challenges that you face. It as well is here to take you to your most aligned life. Like it's designed to be healthy. It's designed to feel well. And if
Yeah.
it doesn't, or if there's something coming up within your physical form,
Mhm.
it's to be addressed to help you move towards the most aligned life, not to be rejected and get in a fight with it.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's a big one, right? Like
Mhm.
this is a big big
This is a
conversation, a
big
big topic.
topic journey. Yeah. All of
Yes.
it.
Yes. And like we're no like medical physicians, right? So
Mm-mm.
this is not medical advice. We're just
Yeah.
giving our experience here.
Yeah.
And I love the medical community and I love all the alternative medicines too. I like
For sure.
any and all of it, whatever is calling to you. But if you don't know what's calling to you, like that's what we're talking about is this language of the
Mhm.
body. Like there needs to be cultivation and sitting still with yourself
Mhm.
can be a really good place to start with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Um, and like you said that a lot of your clients kind of
Mhm.
it came back to like self-love.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? Like just because I feel like that,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times, why I was lacking self-sovereignty over my body was because I lacked self-trust. Like for me, I think it came back to
Mhm.
trusting myself,
Yeah.
because I totally, just gave up my authority in that relationship.
Yeah.
So for me, the body has been teaching me how to trust myself and how
Yeah.
to, have control and authority over my own life. But I
Mhm.
know that a lot of times it's also developing love. Like our bodies want to
Yes.
teach us how to love ourselves. So is there anything you want to share with that as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah. I mean, 100% everything you said around that trust is definitely a core for a lot of the people I've been
Mhm.
able to interact with and, in whatever form that may be. Um, but it's also like we want to be seen, heard, and loved, right? Like,
Mhm.
so if you're not feeling any of those or a component of them, okay, well, then it's kind of easy to start to disassociate. Or even if I don't really want to do that, well, I'll do it because I feel love for a couple of minutes or for a night or, when I'm around this person. Um, or, I feel accepted because I'm eating this way and I'm,
Mhm.
or I'm exercising this way and like everyone else is doing it. So I can like be accepted into the group, right? Like it's seen, heard, valued, loved. Like if
Mhm.
those aren't being met, I just feel like it's very easy for us humans to then go, all right, I'll shift and I can shift that physical
Mhm.
body because our body is incredible to
Mhm.
keep like homeostasis, to keep balance. There are um
Systems and
yes,
pieces
a lot of
and gears.
levers, yes,
Yeah.
that can be used. Um, and like you won't feel the difference, right? Like we can't
Yeah.
feel the mitochondria that's pumping out the ATP right now, but it's happening.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, it's how we're alive. Like
Yeah.
this is how our energy happens. So like that's remarkable. Like I'm
Mhm.
already like, oh my God, that's happening right now in my body. That's so cool.
Mhm.
Um, but so there's a lot that we can kind of push out of balance before
Mhm.
we even know it because
Yeah,
we
it's
want to
like
be
we
loved. We
develop
want to be accepted.
yeah, like we almost develop a new baseline in our
Oh
bodies.
yeah.
Like
Oh
we
yeah.
trade our health for love,
Yes. And
like
you
that's
can go pretty far until you start to
Mhm.
notice
Mhm.
I have a headache. I have
Yeah.
chronic knee pain. have
Yeah.
digestive, my heart, like any of the, my eyesight, my hair's falling
Mhm.
out, right? Like you
Mhm.
can really do quite a bit of disassociation or kind of wandering off the misaligned path
Mhm.
from a spiritual sense until you start to go, whoa, that's not what it used to be. Like,
Mhm.
oh, like you can
Yeah.
function, like the body wants to keep you alive
Mhm.
and it can do that in all sorts of ways.
Yeah, it's the body wants to keep you alive, but it also like what I'm like feeling come through is that I mean our spirits live in our body, right? And
Yeah.
our spirit wants to have the most amazing, fantastic life that is
Hmm.
possible. And so it chose this body
Yep.
because it knows this body is capable of doing that. And so anytime that you get distracted by the world around you or the relationships around you or you're not living your best life, the
Yeah.
body's going to hold you through that. And so
Yes.
that's like if you're there, if you're hearing this and you're feeling holy shit, like I
Yeah.
don't feel my best. I know that I've maybe pushed the limits. I know that maybe my body is, carrying me in a direction that I don't even want to, or, it's carrying
Yeah.
me while I'm not going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Like that's okay,
Oh,
right? Like
yes.
that's
Oh,
okay.
yes.
It's designed to do that. You know,
Yes.
you're exactly where you're supposed to be. There's nothing wrong with you. We're
Yes.
not going to feel 100% in our bodies every
Oh,
single day, night.
yeah.
Like that is not
Right.
the goal.
Yeah.
Like that is not even the goal of this conversation at
Yeah.
all
No.
to like,
Mhm.
paint this picture of we can be in optimal health and feeling 24/7. No, it's an invitation to
Mhm.
start listening to your body
Yeah.
and starting to track the language of your body. So, what is it telling you right now when it isn't feeling good? Like, when your stomach hurts, just a very simple example. Like, what are you not honoring within your own self when your stomach starts to hurt? Like, that was something that came up for me. Um,
Yeah.
I actually worked with Lauren of Love, one on
Mhm.
one coaching. She's amazing in this field of healing,
Mhm.
especially healing the body, through this exact way that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But in working with her, I realized that like my stomach would get upset when I was doing something that I didn't want to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like super simple, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not always this big grand thing, but I started to notice that, if I would join a call or, take
Mhm.
on a client that didn't feel aligned, like my stomach would hurt before I'd get on the
Yep.
call.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
would be like, "Oh, well, I ate fine, like I
Yeah.
slept okay. Like, why is
Sure.
it's because I wasn't honoring myself." So
Yeah.
just inviting you to pay attention to the people, the environments that you're around when your body is speaking to you.
Yes.
That's the invitation here so that you can start to understand your unique language
Absolutely.
for
And you
your
can tie
unique
human
body.
design into this, right? Like
Yeah.
for you, the
Point.
invitations
Yeah.
weren't authentic. And so your
Yeah.
body was highlighting that. Like it can
Yeah.
be that simple. Like you can
Yes.
utilize all of these modalities and
Hmm.
information in your experience and go, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Or if I'm trying to push or force something,
Hmm.
I have anxiety. I don't
Yeah.
sleep well, right? Like it can be like, oh, and then you can go a layer deeper. Like, okay, what's
Yeah.
the trigger? What's the pattern? But like the language of your body and human design, like, oh, it can just start to connect and weave that story and those patternings so well together.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, the I know that it may have sounded heavy when I was sharing my journey, right? Because, the experience with like, in high school and
Sure.
the journey I just went on with the healthcare system, it may have sounded heavy. Like you might
Mhm.
feel like your journey right now is heavy, but
Mhm.
those are just the areas where you've more so avoided your
Yes.
truth, right? Like
Yes.
those are just the areas that you've, maybe didn't give attention to for a long period of time. And
Right.
so
Right.
it's going to feel big at first, but
Yep.
it's not once the awareness comes in,
Yes.
like
Yes.
that's
Yes.
a lot of times that's all we need, right? Like the ding ding ding, oh, that's that relationship now playing out in
Hmm.
random parts of my life. Like, oh,
Right.
okay, got it. Like
Yes.
you can
Yes.
just welcome yourself to the awareness. Um,
Absolutely.
and I love that you brought up human design and, the connections that you can make with your own chart, but
Yeah.
also that human design shows us that we're all unique. We
Yes,
all
we are.
have a different way of experiencing the world. And
Yep.
so we're all unique when it comes to our bodies and the way our bodies are meant to experience the world too. So if yours looks different or feels different than your partners or your friends, like it's supposed to.
Yeah. And even sharing mine, like it's like I have quite a bit like fourth level stuff in my chart, and that's very relational, and it can be very like friend zone and not romantic. So like that's to me, it makes a lot of sense. Like, oh, that's what I feel like I've done a lot of work in it, but that's what has kept coming up. And that's likely going to be the thread throughout my life. So yeah, there's all sorts of dynamics that can happen
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
I
good.
just like love my body.
Yay. Good. I know I'm like, oh, I want to go on a walk and be in the sun right now. Like,
I know.
ooh,
I
soak it
mean,
in.
it's literally a vessel for your life.
It
So
is.
there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
It's just trying to tell you things to
Yes.
help you experience that vessel and life
Yeah.
to its capacity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, is there
Mhm.
anything else we want to share?
I think this is really solid. I'm sure we'll have other episodes around this too.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's just a lovely place to start. And if you are somewhere that you do feel this is too much, just ask for the right people to come into your life so you can build the support that you need, because that is a very real thing too. And like, go play, go have some fun, go connect with the people or the places, the things that like do bring you joy. Like I'm going to come back to joy probably every episode.
Yeah.
Because
Because it's
that's a way to
possible.
connect to your body too.
Like, yeah. And I want, like, it's possible to feel good in your body. Is it
Yes, it is.
possible to
Yes.
never, ever, ever have a headache again? Probably not. Like if your crown chakra's open too much and you're
Right.
thinking a lot, you might need to close it or, balance
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Not close it. But so like it is possible to fall in love with your body and build a trusting relationship and
Yep.
enjoy life in your body. But
Mhm.
just like with any relationship, it takes time to build trust. You have to
Yep.
be patient, you have to
Yep.
communicate with it. But it is possible. And I want to say that just because like that's been a big part of my journey. Like
Mhm.
the body has been my biggest teacher so far in this phase of life.
Yep.
So if it's communicating to you, if it's
Yeah.
symptoms are coming up, discomforts, that's because it's wanting to teach you.
Yes. 100%. I
Mm,
totally agree.
okay. Well, there
Yeah.
was a lot here,
Yeah.
but hopefully we get some feedback, some questions, because
Yeah.
I know that this is an area that's very personal to both of us. And it's
Yes.
not one that could be perfectly tied in a bow in one
For
episode.
sure.
Like we'll say that for sure.
Mhm.
There's so many legs to this. But
Yeah.
for right now, we trust you to know your body.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, reach out. Our Instagram is popping off now. Woo woo. Thanks, Jenna. She's the queen right there of that. So you can definitely follow us. You can DM us, get a hold of us. It's at While You Wait podcast. Can find it there. But I would love to hear what's come up for you. Or
Where are
if
you
there's,
at? Like, where are
yeah,
you at with your relationship to your body? I think that would be really great to hear as we're continuing to talk about it. Because wherever you're at is perfect.
it is.
But we've been in all of the phases of relationship to body so far. I mean, I'm sure there's so much
Oh,
more
there's,
for us
yeah,
to learn.
yeah, yeah.
But if we can focus on any point or, experience any further, we'd love to do that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. I so appreciate having this space to be able to have these conversations.
yeah, thank you. And we hope you have a beautiful day.
Absolutely. Bye, everyone.
Bye.